Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Tuesday morning. It is 6:57 a.m. in cloudy California, and I'm fixing bugs. What is the bug we want to fix? Right. I think I remember it. I was working on other stuff this weekend. So delete you, replace you with one of these. Oops. There's probably a better way to do that. Why is that? Node not found. If has node. Where am I? I'm in wall. Okay. Now what? Has node in base null. How can it get to here? Because it says, in base null instance on a null instance. Object 0 doesn't exist. But then why didn't it exit here? So this is confusing to me. It gets all the way down to here to this has node, and it says has node in base null. So this, hey, Raphael, thanks for the follow. This says take this the first index of this array and then check if it has a node, and it's saying that's null. The first instance of that array is null. But that should never happen. But it did happen. Why does that happen? Last dabbed wall. Last dabbed wall is null. Oh, it passes an array of null. But then why is it passing that in null if this says only add it if it's not null? Yeah, that should be okay. So somehow this gets passed in, and then it gets here, and it becomes null here. Suppose I could add another check. Let me check it. Ooh. Oh man. I'm so confused because so if it passes in an array with a null in it, that's not true. That's true. That's fine. That would run. That would run. That would run. And then we get here. Okay. Let's do this. Let me draw something. Okay, and then I'll be ready to erase this. I'm going to put a break right here. And then I'm going to erase it. All right. Last dabbed wall is null. But it's going in. So last dabbed wall null passes the true check. Show me the output. Stop breaking there. You know, sometimes you're programming and it feels like you're losing your mind. Okay. It's not null when it goes in, but it becomes null. If not is instance valid, continue. That's why it gets through here. Well, it just skips over it. So here I need to do another check. Do I have any resources about the terrain generator for the level editor? I want to do something similar, but I haven't found any resources. Probably because I don't know what to look for. Is it mesh generation at runtime? I will talk to you about it in just a sec. But first, let me lock down this bug, because I think what I need to add is just a pretty simple check. Right here, I can do this. If object that size equals 1 and object 0 and not is instance valid object 0, do that. All right, that does work. And I can remove this print. Where's that print? Oh man, where was that print? What did it print? It is too early in the morning here, folks. Ba 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 ba. Bum ba 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 ba. What was I just doing? Oh yeah. Line 433. All right. All right. Sorry. Let me commit this real quick because that was an unrelated bug fix that I didn't actually want to get involved in, but here we are. So I made this bug fix. And it works. And yeah, that works. All right. Let's remove this. How do I close this? Here we go. So many different projects going on. Fixed bug in level editor when deleting a wall. All right. Raphael. Oops. I'm going to show you all the secrets. So each one of these, delete this guy. Each one of these is just a polygon, okay? Well, it's a little more than a polygon, but let me show you. So it's a static body. There's a polygon 2D shape within the wall, right? It's got vertices on it. You can, right, do all this stuff with it, right? There's a collision polygon. There's some other stuff to like visualize things in the editor. Like this is the signal visualizer. There's a tween for making, this is some special effects stuff, and then there's a path. And what happens is, as you draw or erase in the editor, what it does is it's just taking another wall, and when you click, it places it, right? And then it rotates this brush. So you see the outline, and then it rotates it, outline, right? And then, so then what it does is if two of these overlap, so now I have a wall here with the polygon, I have this wall with the polygon. If I overlap them, then it does the math to compute the new polygon, and it replaces one of these with the new polygon. So in this case, if I overlap one, right, now I get this new polygon. If I overlap two, it does the same thing with all of them. So it takes all the overlaps, and I mean, we could even do three. It'll take all the overlaps and compute the new polygon, and then replace all three of these with this new one, like that. And it just does it very quickly, so you can just draw. And then it does the same thing with erasing, except it's computing the, what do you call it? Not the union, but the not the intersection. I don't know. It's just taking this piece out, right? Deleting that from that polygon. And you can see all the vertices here. So each one of these is one of the vertices, and you can actually move them around. And then if I click on here, I can control click and add a new vertex, right? So I can do this as well if I really want to get in there. And it's just changing this polygon shape. And then every time the polygon shape changes, it also copies that shape to the collision and to this path follow. So the path ends up being around the edges, and the collision shape ends up being exactly the same. It just copies those every time you make an update. Yeah, subtraction. That's right. No worries. I'm just a little scattered. It is early in the morning, and I haven't really had coffee yet. And there you go. Well, that's weird. That should be fixed. Oh, no, that makes sense, though, actually. Oh, I should do something about that. So the reason it gets fixed here is because whenever I add some material or erase some material, whenever I change the shape, it runs an algorithm that recomputes the center, the average center of this polygon, and rotates all of the pieces, all of the vertices, so that the rotation of the polygon itself is always 0, and this always points up. But because I'm just doing this, it's not doing that recomputation. But if I add a piece, then it recomputes it. So you can see the center is right there, but if I keep doing this, now the center is moved. Now the center is moved because the average is way over here. It does a bunch of little stuff like that. And then I've got a couple of different brushes. I've got this brush. I've got this kind of rocky looking brush. I've got this square brush. And I've got this spiky brush. Stalactite brush. Oops. Why are you doing that? Here we go. So, and then because it's a static body and I'm just changing the collision shape, all the collisions just work. Right, so that'll bounce. And if I change the shape, now I can fly in here. Right. All very interactive and nice. It's basically a lot of the kind of built-in Godot editor functions like this stuff. Right? It's basically doing what this is doing, where you can manipulate points and add points and subtract points. But it's doing it in the game and in a more fun way. You want to make something like an ant farm simulator. I wanted to be able to draw the terrain like you have on the editor, as well as being able to make the ants be able to show the outer edges of the shapes. Godot does handle the math. So in here, there's a method, and I'll paste this code in if you want to see it. Yeah, so here's where I'm merging multiple polygons together. And the method is here. It's in this new geometry class. Well, not new, but there's this geometry class built into Godot. And the geometry class has a bunch of stuff for computing convex hulls, which is really cool. You can give it a I don't know if you know what a convex hull is, but you can give it just a point cloud, just a bunch of random points, and then it simulates putting a rubber band around that whole thing and then letting it go. And wherever that rubber band ends up, that's the convex hull around those points. And then it returns you that list of vertices in clockwise order, I think, which is really very cool. There's an intersection. There's a clip, which is like the subtraction, and there's the somewhere in here merge, right, which is like the union. So it does all this. It's got all the math here for you. It's very cool. It'll even do something where I mean, I didn't implement this, but you can if where's my game? Oh, I'm not running it. In my game, if I have a polygon like this and I cut it in half, it's going to erase the smaller half, right? But it is totally possible that you could do this. The function returns enough information to tell you, because you've done a cut, that now there's 2 polygons here. I just didn't implement it. I'm not sure why. I think there was some complication that I didn't understand in the API and how the data was being returned, but I know you can do this. So you can dig tunnels and separate the polygons. Yeah, so I kept it simple. Because I just needed, to be able to draw some walls, and then shoot bad guys that are touching those walls, or like build a cave system is all I needed to be able to do. And so the player is going to see this, right? That's all the player will see, and that's all I needed. So there's a bug. He's following the wrong curve. Why is he following the wrong curve? I thought I'd fix this bug. It's annoying. Yes, you could use that to let the ants walk around the geometry. So in here, every time this shape changes, I call a method in here called copy shape. So every time I do a clip or a merge or whatever, it does this copy shape. And all it's working on is the polygon, right, in here. But then it calls this. And in copy shape, it recalculates a new center point for the polygon. It centers it, it adjusts the rotation, and then it copies that polygon to the collision and to the path. And it does that every time it changes. So as the ants are digging or whatever, I guess you could call this and have it change the shape, change the shape, change the shape. I wonder, though, if there might be a better way. The problem with this method is that it's fairly CPU intensive, because once you get a polygon of a certain size, doing this copy every time and doing this math that I'm doing starts to slow the thing down. I don't know. If I was doing an ant farm simulation, I would be tempted to do something like simulate each pixel like sand or something, or maybe do something where I'm tracking the shape as a bitmap, just image data perhaps, instead of tracking each individual vertex and copying collisions and all that stuff. I don't know. Because I'm picturing you might have dozens of polygons, hundreds, maybe thousands and thousands of vertices, and it could be a problem performance-wise. Yeah, it is an interesting problem, for sure. I'm confident Godot can help you do it, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking of something like Noita, which I think is all bitmaps and basically cellular automata simulations running on the GPU in a shader. All right, let me see. Am I in the right? Yeah, I'm in the right branch. Mobile turret. Every time I add a new feature, I start running into the bugs with it, and I'm like, do I really need this feature? How come you're not moving, mister? Now you're just not moving? You just decided, who needs to move? And you're just moving in the wrong place. I swore I fixed this. Wall. Position, global position. Offset. Is it not doing this? I did change this. Let's see. Oh, now it's working. Why? Ready? Copy shape. Maybe this needs to be in prepare. Ooh, I don't have a prepare for gameplay. Really? All right. Let's try that. Stack underflow. Weird. Sometimes when you make script changes in the editor, it just freaks out. Okay. Now you're not moving. Now you are. Alright, well, I don't know what I did exactly, but it seems to be working now. God, you're so annoying. Stop shooting at me. This, in the editor, let me show you. There's a prepare for gameplay. I use this pattern a lot. So whenever the level is about to start, the level editor loads the level, it iterates through all the objects, it instantiates everything, blah, blah, blah. And then it just checks for each object. Does it have a prepare for gameplay method? And if it does, then call it. So any object that needs to do anything special before the level starts, if you're returning back from the editor, you know, whatever, it can do it here. And then there's a complementary one called prepare for editor. Yeah, prepare for editor. So some of these methods, some of these objects have a special, they behave differently in the editor than they do in the game. And so it just goes back and forth, and the editor just calls them if it has that method. If it doesn't have that method, then I don't need anything special, and it just skips it. It's like an optional interface, I guess. Maybe I should put it, where should I put this? I'm going to put it here. What is this? What are you? Node not found path. Why are you? Oh, it's because I moved some code. That's why. Otherwise, it would be up 1, 2, 3, like here. That's weird. Okay, so you're working. So here's the bug. Oh, dang it. Here's the bug. If I change the shape of this wall, or even if I don't change it, I just went into the editor, now I'm out. Oh, he's following it. Into the editor, out, okay. Into the editor, change the shape. Out. Following it. Okay, maybe I fixed the bug. Into the editor. Change the shape, change the shape, change the shape. Out. Yeah, so the bug before was when I did this, it wouldn't follow the shape. And I think that's because I didn't have the I didn't have the prepare for gameplay call. So if I remove that, prepare for gameplay, let's just try it. Right, I do that. Now prepare for gameplay does nothing. Yeah, see? And he's stuck. He doesn't know what to do. There's no path. The path is empty. But if I go into the editor and then exit out again, it's going to reload the level. And then it does it in the ready function. Well, sometimes it does it, sometimes it don't. Stuck. But if I have this here, it should always copy it every time the level starts. Right. I feel like if you were going to make a guy go around a thing like this, you would make it smooth and flat like a road, wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Maybe it's because it would be worn smooth. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. See, now I just need a cool animation of him, like, walking, or maybe I'll put tank treads on him. I think I'll do tank treads. Tank treads is easier than four-legged walking. Don't tell anybody that I'm lazy. It'll be our secret. Look, he can't see me over there. Pablam! Alright, I think that works. And all it took was a bunch of nonsense. This. And me not knowing what I'm doing. Fixed bug with enemies patrolling walls after exiting level editor. Alright, that is you. Done. Done. Right? Tank treads are the way to go. Nobody walks on the moon. All right, patrol route indicators. I think I would like something like... let's see if we can do this real quick. I think I would like a... I would like a area 2D, and I'm going to call this patrol point. And I'm going to add a collision shape. And it's going to be a very simple collision shape. And I'm going to save this in a new folder. Patrol point. I hate naming this stuff because if I change the names later, it's going to be a pain in the neck. And I'm going to create a script for it. And I'm going to create a body entered. And I'm going to say if, what's my pattern for doing this? Body entered. That's what I want to do. If this is a wall, then I'm going to say body dot reverse direct. No. If body has method reverse direction, yeah, then call body reverse direction. And I want to add a little sprite here. Yeah, let's just do that. It doesn't matter right now. And I will add you. Whoops. I will add you. Like so. Placeholder. And then you, let's see, you're going to collide with what? You're not the player. You're a structure. You're an enemy. And you're going to collide with the player. Bullets. No, let's not collide with any bullets. We'll collide with enemies. Collide with the world. Doesn't need to collide with those. Enemies and player. So the player can bounce off of it. Okay. Then I need to add some variables. I need this one, this one. Control point. And then in my level editor, entities, JSON. Props, arrows. Yeah, it's a tool. I'm going to add it right here. So let me copy this guy right there. And we're going to call him patrol point. We're going to call him patrol point. We're going to call this placeholder. Patrol point. And this is a mobile enemies reverse direction here. Right? Do I have that in the right folder? Patrol point. Patrol point. Patrol point. Okay. Type. Okay. So now I should be able to place those. Oops. I should be able to place those in the editor. Patrol point. Mobile enemies reverse direction here. And you're going to go right. Oh, you're not snapping. You're going to go there, and you're going to go there. And I can move them around? No. Ah, okay. So there's some editor API functions that I need. I need this. Otherwise, the editor doesn't work right. And I don't know. I probably should have created a custom class for this, but I didn't. So I'm just copying code. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. That's probably why the snapping wasn't working. Delete, delete, bring you back. Still not working. Oh, but probably because I told it don't snap. Yeah, snap true. Let's try that. Oops. Ran it from the wrong editor. Now it should snap. There it goes. Snap, snap, snappity snap. So we're going to put one there and one there. And I can move them, and it's all great. All right, then in my mobile turret, I need a reverse direction. And that will be current direction. Okay, if current direction equals direction dot clockwise, then current direction equals direction dot anti-clockwise. Otherwise, current equals clockwise. So that'll reverse its direction. Reverse direction is the name of the method, and patrol point calls reverse direction if it's on the body. Let's see what happens. Nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? Did I forget a checkbox? Maybe, Admitted when a physics 2D enters an area requires monitoring to be set to true. Maybe it doesn't. Well, I mean, this is it's a static body. I guess first thing to check is to see, is it working? Let's see. Let's not do a print. Let's just break. No. Okay. That's not even getting called. So, static body. It is a physics body 2D. Collision object 2D. So this says, emitted when a physics body 2D enters this area 2D requires monitoring to be true. And here, well here, monitoring is true. It's colliding with enemies. Mobile turret is, oh, it's not an enemy. It's just a structure. It should definitely be an enemy. Is my regular turret an enemy? No? Oh man. Why aren't they? You would think of all things in the game that would be enemies, it would be the things in the enemies folder that shoot stuff at you. Also not an enemy? feel like I'm losing my mind again. They're all structures. Now I'm worried. A drone certainly is not a structure, right? Surely it's an enemy. Well, I might have a good reason for that. It escapes me right now, but maybe. Let's make this guy both of those, and let's make him collide with structures. Why not? Let's see what happens if I do that. I'm hesitant to change all my enemies and add an enemy's collision layer to them because they'll probably be fine. Even my drones, were my drones? Drones are enemies because they move. Maybe I didn't want my mobile, these flying around enemies colliding with structures in the game. I don't know. Someone should write some documentation about this. Alright, it still didn't work. It still didn't work. Break. Okay. So this guy, he's going to collide with structures, enemies, the player. You know, let me see if that works at least. I can try crashing into it and seeing what happens. Okay. So that worked. I think it's maybe because he's a static body. Enemy might be for projectiles, but I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. I'll have to look and see all the different things I have tagged as an enemy, or that they're on this enemy collision layer, because I've got an enemy bullets layer as well. And structures are enemies, tacitly, I guess, because am I using that word right? They're implied to be enemies because you blow up everything in the game. Everything's an enemy. I wonder why I wouldn't make them both, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm moving on. So, I needed to Google this. Godot, static body, area 2D. An area can't detect static bodies to my knowledge. Godot, area 2D, detect collision with static body 2D. Doesn't say anything about it. Maybe, what if I did... Oh, is it because of this? Its mask is empty. I don't think so. Because this mask says it should collide with structures. It should collide with anything on the structures layer. This is on the structures layer. It should collide. Shouldn't need to add this. I think there's just a problem here where the Area 2D isn't interacting with static bodies, which kind of makes sense because static bodies aren't supposed to. And I'm moving mine. So let's do this. Let's add a... Why not? Let's just do this. Let's add another Area 2D here. And then add a collision shape. And you will be rectangle. Put you like this, like this. Like that. Okay. I don't like this, but let's see what happens. In the patrol point, oops, I still got my breakpoint. Let's see what happens. And that's because I had the wrong collision. Let's try that again. Still nothing. I feel like I'm doing something fundamentally wrong here. This patrol point, when a body enters it, oh. Okay. It's not a body anymore. Area entered. Area exited. Area shape. Let's try this one. Let's do that. Let's try that. Actually, let's do that. Let's do that. And then we'll print body.name. And then let's do this as well. This one. Print. I didn't need to do these prints. Whatever. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the area, it does get it. Nothing else works. So I can remove that, I can remove that. So this works. And it printed out area.name, area2D, right? Which is this. It printed that. So then I mean, I really don't like this code, but I'm going to clean this up later, I promise. If area dot get parent dot has method reverse direction, then area dot get parent reverse direction. This ought to work. Hey, it actually worked. So now I've got patrol points, and what I can do is I can make a little animation for these, so that as you're coming up on this, and you're flying through the level, and you're coming up on it, you can kind of maybe see the patrol point before you see the enemy, and be like, oh no, there's a patrol up here. And then you see the patrol. And then, let's see, let's add another one here. And I can have another enemy here, another mobile enemy, and then another mobile enemy. And none of these guys should overlap. They should all stick in their area. You got the long patrol. Alright, I do kind of like this system, because I was thinking about, you know, having the patrol route defined inside of the mobile enemy itself. But by doing these patrol points, I basically get the same thing, but I don't have to have any special code in the turret. All the code about the patrol is in these guys. And the patrols are very simple. It's just, you know, reverse direction when you get here, which is fine. That's good enough. So, if I were to keep this, I would rename this to be Patrol Collision Area. Just to give me a hint that this is for patrol collisions, which I know work with the patrol point. That should be fine. For some reason, area 2Ds and static 2Ds don't collide. There's probably good reasons. I have no idea what they are, and that's okay. Oh, Rough Night. Thanks for following, buddy. Use areas in 3D to check for static bodies all the time. See, that's... I don't know, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong. Alright, so I need to add art. Let's change this. Well, let's check that off. And then we'll add patrol route animation. Patrol endpoint animation. Do they need a sound? And sound. Obviously, you need some kind of sound effect when it triggers the change in direction. I'm thinking they're like little blinking lights, like beacons. Doom, doom. And when you hit them, when the enemy hits them and changes direction, I don't know, it'd be like a ping pong sound. Ping pong, doom, doom. I don't know, something. Let's make that 2 tasks. Patrol endpoint animation, patrol endpoint sound effect. Patrol endpoint editor icon. Why can't Area 2D detect static body 2D? I just want to find that out. I'm going to do some research on that. But for right now, I think we got a lot done, guys. And I appreciate your help. And believe me, even if you didn't say anything, just hanging out, watching, just being there for me was big help. No, in all sincerity, I do appreciate you guys. It's nice to not be doing this alone, you know, and to have you all here. It gives me energy, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to call it there for now. I think I'm kind of gravitating. No pun intended. I'm gravitating towards a Tuesday, Thursday streaming schedule. Oh, hey, Slamu. Thank you for the follow. A Tuesday, Thursday, maybe Saturday streaming schedule. I do like streaming in the morning like this because it seems to hit the sweet spot of on West Coast before work, East Coast goofing off at work on their coffee break or whatever, Europe after work, right? It's kind of like daytime for everybody except Australia and New Zealand. Sorry, guys. If you're in Australia, it's way past your bedtime. But yeah, I think it's working for me, and I'm definitely going to keep it up. So I think Tuesday, I'll probably be back Thursday, maybe Saturday. It's going to be around the same time. Hit the bell. I think there's a notification bell in here to get notified when the streams start, or you can join my Discord. And go to gravityace.com. Check out all the things. There's all the links. There's the YouTube. There's the Steam page. The game's in early access now. Follow me on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. All the good stuff. And drop by, say hi on the Discord. I'm not super active in there, but I do check it every day. So if you have any questions, you want to talk about anything, you want to look at some code, I'm not keeping any of this stuff secret. Just ask. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. Thanks for dropping in, everybody. Have a good one.